SG Reads.
Hello fellow travelers, my name is SG and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be going over another favorite series of mine. This time it's going to be Archie's Weird Mysteries. This is definitely a fun topic to talk about, mainly because of the bigger impact it had on its own series. This being that it was a spin-off of the Archie's comics and became its own entity off of the original kind of characters that we've seen, but this introduced a whole nother layer to the storyline that we didn't see at the time, and would go on to spawn newer and up-to-date ideas that we recently see to this very day. Some even on television, some even in books. But with that being said, please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. It really helped me out. Lets me know you like this content. If you like the Archie's Weird Mysteries or anything Archie comics related, please leave it down in the comment section. It has been a while since the original comics have come out, and I do think that there is something to talk about with that. How it keeps updating itself, has it done itself right, or has it done itself wrong? All the spin-offs that came out of it, such as Josie and the Pussycats, or various other different kinds of titles along the way. But with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Archie's Weird Mysteries was originally released on October 2nd, 1999, but was unceremoniously ended on February 22nd, 2000, giving it about a release date of 5 months. But even though it only lasted 5 months, it had a total of episodes released about 40, and shortly after, about 2 television movies. Now, the production of Archie's Weird Mysteries went from Les Studios Tex and Deke Productions, consisting that it wanted to be a mix of Scooby-Doo with the X-Files, but adding the spice of B-list movies of the time. And of course starring Archie comics characters such as Archie, Reggie, Veronica, Betty, and Jughead 2. Now, these series were released on PAX or Ion Television, and of course Fox Kids, along with Carmen Sandiego as part of a Deke slot. Now, this did continue on till the year 2000, of course, where it was unceremoniously cancelled along with the rest of the channel, but was still shown in various other sites, such as Disney, and of course Cartoon Network certain points. Now, our main character in the series is our title character, Archie Andrews. Now, in this scenario though, unlike many other versions, he does not want to be a football player, nor does he want to be a musician. Much more, he wants to be a reporter, and he's starting off that with the Riverdale High newspaper, where he reports all the mysterious findings he has throughout the Riverdale area. Now, this can consist of sleeping demons, killer tomatoes, dream demons, various other things that you would see throughout the series, going on into vampires, giants, even Veronica Lodge becoming a giant herself. So this did leave a vast variety of opportunities for different characters, different scenarios, and leading on into interesting and funny takes on the characters themselves, while at the same time keeping their kind of iconic vibes to them, making their personalities similar but grow as time went on. In fact, I would have to say that that's part of the, appeal of the series, because it doesn't seem to stick to the same notes, it rather grows as it goes on. And they do learn lessons and become better people at the end of the day. Now, I do bring this up because we do see these traits come later on to other Archie Andrews projects, or Archie Comics projects later down the line. But for the most part, that would have to be what the main story is, or a synopsis, that he is just simply following along with all the mysteries that Riverdale seems to give. And at the same time, it does give certain interesting aspects. And I have to say that for a series finale, I do think that they did miss the opportunity of having the 3-part time travel special be the finale, because that did add a lot to the overall story and give a deeper insight into the characters, what makes them who they are, why they are the way they are, and of course, what it means for the future, with a bit of a tease as well. But with that being said, let's move on to our main characters. Now, when it comes to our main cast of characters, we do have Archie Andrews, played by Andrew Reynolds. We have Reggie Mantle, played by Paul Soso. We have Veronica Lodge, played by Camille Schmidt. We have Betty Cooper, played by America Young. And we do have Jughead Jones, played by Chris Lundquist. These being the main protagonists that we follow throughout the series. But we do have various other ones, such as Dilton, played by Ben Beck. But then we do have supporting casts, such as Midge, Clump, played by Jill Anderson, Moose Mason, played by Jerry Long. We get Miss Grundy, Pop Tape, played by Ryle Smith, and various others that do come in and out. While we do have some kind of show characters that have made just minor appearances in the show, either in one episode or in sometimes double, we don't really get much of a chronological villain, much more a villain of the week kind of scenario. So they're always using similar voice actors or different kinds of characters that have either represented the overall Archie comics, or they do go off of new and show-only characters, such as Mr. Fisk, the CEO of Zoom Co. And we also do have, like I said, characters that do feel like they are from the direct Archie comics, such as Vinnie Wells, playing a character that does not exist in the comic, in any cartoon, but feels like he is placed just right, and so much so that he becomes a main antagonist for 3 episodes straight. Again, these being some of my favorite episodes of the series. The animation in this really does hold up, feeling like a cartoon of the 90s and very much like of the 2000s. But it did have its own upgrade from the original Archie cartoons that came before it. With the original Archie cartoons feeling more of the Hanna-Barbera vibe, this tried to make a step up, becoming newer age and more modern, considering the type of series it was trying to be. So for the most part, it did update its animation. It looks very good, very smooth, does have its small glitches, but overall does fit with its time and kind of holds up even to this day. I don't really have any complaints about the animation in the overall, but it does add it to its own kind of era, making it feel like a time capsule in its own right. Now, instead of the regular references that we see, because there's so many of them, I wanted to talk about the influence that this series had on the overall Archie comics. And that is very deep, skin deep even. This can consist of the comics and even going into some bigger project series. Now, we've seen different projects that have taken the Archie characters and giving them a horror movie twist. And with that, we have The Afterlife with Archie, where Riverdale is overrun by zombies. Jughead the Hunger, where Jughead's a werewolf. Or Vampironica, where she is actually a vampire. Now, these are just a few examples of different projects that have come and felt like they directly derive from the original Archie's Weird Mysteries because of the different takes on the characters. But there's one series I do want to talk about a little bit more than the others, and that being the series Riverdale. Now, Archie from Riverdale does not represent or kind of resemble the Archie's Weird Mystery characters at all. But the one who does represent the Archie from Archie's Weird Mysteries is Jughead. They had swapped the personalities of Jughead with the personalities of the Archie from the series. You even see his jacket and even the fact that he wants to be a journalist. So if you wanted to kind of put in that take, you would say that Archie's Weird Mysteries Archie is Jughead in the Riverdale series, and you can even see it kind of going into that way. But with that being said, we do see several kind of weird mysteries happen throughout Riverdale as well that could have been from the series too. But despite all that, that's just kind of a thematic interest, if you will. I do think that it definitely does have a lot to do with one another and helped it grow down the way. But the most important part I would have to say that Archie's Weird Mysteries does was give more dimension to the characters. This allowed certain characters like Betty and Veronica becoming their more idealized versions, or their more grown-up versions, if you will. Allowed them to grow in their own shoes. Allowing Betty to kind of realize what she wants, allowing Veronica to see the world the way that it needs to be. And that's really, I think, where the appeal of Archie's Weird Mysteries comes in, because it allowed the characters to stretch their legs in something that was more than just a comedy, and not as much as a horror, but allowed it to kind of be its own entity. And I think that we do definitely see that throughout the rest of the Archie comics runs that came shortly after, or even a little bit at the same time. Now, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. This is definitely one of my favorite series to follow. I do think that it does need a little more love than it gets, and I would definitely see another series based on it. It definitely has that appeal or the vibe to be something of similar worth. Much more of its own entity, if you will, rather than a parody of the original, or a parody of the modern horror. I do think that it does have a lot to say, and it does do a lot for the characters and for the era it's trying to grow in. But with that being said, please leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And please be careful, because you might be chased by dream demons, you might be chased by killer tomatoes, or you might just be trapped in a virtual world. And if you are any of these, well, you may have just made the wrong turn into a little town called Riverdale. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you guys next time.